So you've got this beautiful wood pergola, right? And you're looking at it thinking, man, I could just blast this clean in a few minutes with my pressure washer. It sounds like a total time saver, a perfect shortcut. But is it actually a good idea? If it's safe for the wood? Well, let's get into it. All right, so this is really the big question we're tackling today. You see all that dirt, maybe some grime that's built up over the season, and that pressure washer is just sitting there, calling your name. It's so tempting, right? But should you actually pull the trigger? Let's get a really clear answer on this. Okay, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. The short answer is a hard no. Just don't do it, especially if you care about that pergola lasting for the long haul. So now you're probably wondering why. Let's break down exactly why this super easy-looking solution can actually cause a whole lot of damage. And this is where it gets pretty serious. A pressure washer doesn't just, clean the wood. It's incredibly aggressive. It literally strips the protective finish right off. But it gets worse. That high-pressure water damages the actual wood fibers and forces moisture deep, deep down into the grain where it doesn't belong. And once that happens, you've basically kicked the door wide open for all sorts of problems. Cracking, checking, really just long-term deterioration that's almost impossible to fix. Okay, so if the quick and easy power washing method is off the table, what are you supposed to do? What's the right way to clean it? Well, you're probably going to be surprised, because the correct way is actually way simpler and safer than you might think. And here it is. Seriously, a soft brush and a regular garden hose. That's it. I'm not kidding. No fancy equipment, no crazy chemicals, just a couple of simple tools you probably already have. So let's walk through the actual protocol here. It's super straightforward. You want to do this about once or twice a year. Spring and fall are perfect times to get it ready for summer or clean it up before winter. The key is to use a soft brush and always go with the grain of the wood so you don't scratch it up. If you've got some stubborn spots, just add a little bit of mild soap to your water. Then, when you're done, just rinse it all off thoroughly with that garden hose. See? It's a really simple routine that actually protects your investment. All right, I know what some of you are thinking, but I have a pressure washer and I really want to use it. Okay, look. If you are absolutely dead set on using one, there are some very strict guidelines you have to follow. But let me be clear, this comes with a huge warning label. So if you're gonna go against our advice, and I'm really recommending you don't, you have to be incredibly careful. First thing, pressure. The absolute maximum setting you should ever use is 1200 psi. Anything higher is just asking for trouble. And the other critical piece is distance. You have to keep that nozzle at least 12 inches, a full foot away from the wood at all times. Seriously, don't get any closer or you're going to cause permanent damage. And even if you follow these rules perfectly, you're still taking a pretty big risk with the life of your pergola. Let's think about what's happening on a microscopic level. Those wood fibers in your timber pergola, they have a job to do, right? They hold the protective finish, they help manage moisture, and they maintain the actual strength of the wood. Blasting it with high pressure the wrong way just messes all of that up. The gentle method, the right way, keeps everything working the way it's supposed to. Okay, so besides pressure washers, what else should you absolutely avoid? There are 3 big no-nos. First up, bleach and ammonia. They're just terrible for wood. They can cause discoloration, and they totally break down those protective treatments. Second, steel wool or any kind of metal brush. All they do is scratch up the finish, which creates all these little tiny doorways for moisture to get in. And third, just stay away from anything that sounds really aggressive, like industrial cleaners or degreasers. Really, the main takeaway here is that you just don't need any of that harsh stuff. Abrasive tools, aggressive chemicals, they're totally unnecessary. A little bit of gentle cleaning is all a well-built structure really needs to stay looking great. But what about mildew? That's a good question, because it's usually when people start reaching for the heavy-duty stuff, often the exact things we just said to avoid. Yeah, mildew can definitely be an issue, especially if your pergola is in a shady spot or you live somewhere humid. So if you start seeing those little dark spots or that kind of fuzzy growth, here's what you do. Just mix up a simple solution of half white vinegar, half water. Or you can grab a cleaner that's specifically made for outdoor wood. Put that on the mildew spots, let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then just give it a gentle scrub with your soft brush and rinse it all the way. Now pay attention here, because this is a really important distinction. If you've got really stubborn mildew, you might be thinking, okay, now it's time for bleach. But hold on, you have to use the right kind. You want to look for oxygen bleach. That's safe for wood. What you want to avoid is regular chlorine bleach, the stuff you use for laundry. That stuff will discolor and damage your wood. Seriously, knowing this one difference could save you from making a really expensive mistake. And it's worth remembering that all this maintenance stuff is so much easier when you start with a high-quality product in the first place. A lot of great companies like Western Timber Frame, for example, they actually apply a professional pretreatment while they're building the structure. So what that means for you is you're not just cleaning the wood, you're maintaining this awesome protective layer that's been there from the very beginning. So if you want to dive deeper and see the full maintenance guide, we're talking the seasonal checklist, the schedule for staining, all of it. You can find the whole article over at westerntimberframe.com. And hey, if you're thinking about a project of your own, Western Timber Frame also offers a free design consultation. It's a great way to make sure you get the right structure, the right materials, and the right maintenance plan right from the get-go. And that really brings us to the most important point. A pergola that's built right from the start doesn't need some heroic, complicated maintenance routine. All it needs is consistent, simple care. A little bit of attention a couple of times a year, and you can keep it looking absolutely beautiful for a very, very long time. You imagine it, we bring it to life. Hey, thanks so much for joining me for this one.